with late game execution.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, this game, yesterday afternoon, I was actually supposed to live stream, but I had something else to do. I couldn't live stream it. Something regarding this channel I had to do that was actually behind. And you guys will probably see it in the next maybe few days, maybe few weeks. I'm sure you guys will like it. It's a video pertaining to certain somebody that we all know and love and cherish. But I'm not going to say too much about it until it comes out. So that's what I was doing instead of live streaming the game. But anyways, I did watch this game when I was working on that video. And this game kind of reminded me of something from back in the, 90s maybe. The 90s. Where the scores used to be low. This game, at the end of the first quarter, this game was 17-8. It was 17-8 at the end of the first quarter. I haven't seen a low scoring first quarter. I don't know how long. That's crazy. I think it might have broke a record for that. Let me see real quick. I'm trying to see if it did break a record. Because that was extremely crazy. Let's see here. I'm trying to look. It doesn't say. It's crazy. But anyways, whatever. Yeah, but that was one of the lowest scoring games I've seen in some time. 17-8. With a final score of 92-87. That's almost some 90s, early 2000s type scoring right there. But no one in this game did well in terms of field goal percentage. You look at the field goal percentage of OKC. 4 for 10 for Chet Holmgren, 8 points. Jalen Williams went 2 for 13, 10 points. 0 for 5. Half of his points were from the free throw line. 0 for 5 for 3. Harkenstein had 8 points, 3 for 7. And they say the presumptuous MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 8 for 19. 0 for 5 from 3. 9 for 12 on the free throw line. 6 assists, 6 rebounds. They had 3 turnovers, 2 steals, and 25 points, and a +6 and a plus minus. Lou Dortz had 6. He went 2 for 10. And his only shots were from 3 because he went 2 for 10 from the field goal and 2 for 10 from the 3. The bench didn't do any better. Well, the bench did a little bit better because Aaron Wiggins went 4 for 8, 11 points, 4 for 7 from the field for Case and Wallace. Of course, they both scored 11 points each. Alex Caruso went 3 for 7, 10 points. And Jalen Williams, the other Jalen, that name is whatever. 1 for 2, 2 points. They really killed that name. And if you look at the field goal percentage for both teams, for OKC, it was 31 for 87 in total, 35% from the field, and they went 10 for 41, 24%. These teams rely on the 3-point way too much. And as for the Denver Nuggets, their numbers look almost similar. 15 points for Aaron Gordon, who has been he's been inconsistent. Actually, Aaron Gordon's been consistent for most of his playoffs. The only reason why they won. Yeah, he has been the reason why they won 2 games in this series. But he had 15 points, 9 rebounds. No, 9 defensive rebounds, 16 rebounds in total. He had a double-double, 6 assists. But he did have 4 turnovers, 5 for 10. Michael Porter Jr. reverted back to his injured self. 3 points for him. And he said, he's been consistent too. Inconsistent also. I'd like for y'all to go out there and shoot with a sprained or torn AC joint in your shoulder? Yeah. Out of shape bastards. Nikola Jokic, 27 points led all scores, but 7 for 22. Yeah, that ain't great. 2 for 8 from the three. That ain't great. He got most of his points from the line, and I don't know what's going on with him. And it's a lot of stars in these playoffs that are not shooting good from the free throw, or just missing free throws. Yeah, Nikola Jokic went 11 for 14. He ain't the only one. I've seen Jalen Bronson missing free throws. I've seen Shea himself missing free throws in this playoffs. But he did get 13 rebounds, but only 3 assists. OKC's defense has really cut off him from let me say that right. OKC defense has really cut off Nikola Jokic from passing. They swarm him a lot, so he can barely pass. Everybody else has to make their shot. That's part of the reasons why they're having troubles. They took away part of Jokic's game. But they have won despite him not throwing up triple doubles because everybody else can make their own shot. But Jamal Murray, 5 for 15 from the field, 2 from 5 from 3, 17 points. Christian Braun, 4 from 11, 2 for 9 from 3, 17 points himself. And in the bench, what did the bench do? The bench didn't do anything. I had to admit, Westbrook didn't do much or nothing. In 27 minutes, he went 2 for 12, 2 for 9. He did shoot an air ball. I had to admit to that. And he fouled out. 6 points. Peyton Watson, 2 points. Nothing from Julian Swather, I think his name is, in 5 minutes. They shot even worse from 3. Oh, they shot about the same, actually. They shot just as bad from 3. 11 for 45 from 3, 24%. But field goal wise, in total, 25 for 80, 31%. And they got out rebounded by OKC, 55 to 49. And I will say this: when Denver had a lead, some reason they thought it was a great idea to take a page out of the Boston Celtics book and jack up a whole bunch of threes, which gave way for OKC to get back into this game. Because at one point in time, I thought Denver was going to take this game away, but nope. They shot too many threes. And I wonder if that's a symptom of them playing. How many games have they played since Monday now? Game 1 was on Monday, right? So they played 4 games in the span of almost 7 days. And I will say this because they mentioned this in the broadcast that they played like 2 games within like 36 hours of each other or something like that. Yeah, that may be no excuse. But I have noticed that the other series in these playoffs, they got 2 days off. Or 2 days before they play the next game. I think the Cleveland and Pacers series had 2 games off, 2 days off. I think the Warriors, has it been the Warriors? Maybe not the Warriors. But I know, it might have been the Warriors in Timberwolves series had 2 days off. I think Boston and the Knicks had 2 days off. So, yeah. Something screwy going on with this. But no excuses. No absolute excuses. Jokic got to step his ass up. And I made that video yesterday, and I knew exactly what I was going to get out of it. I knew I was going to get a whole bunch of apologies for Scap Attack, apologies for Nikola Jokic, even though I said I don't mind Nikola Jokic, don't have a problem. I have a problem with egghead-ass fans like Scap Attack lying like the freaking LaCote and LaMedia be doing. I don't want to be accused of being racist towards Jokic when I say I don't have a problem with Jokic and really don't have a problem with white people in total. We just don't like when you only call out a certain amount of people. But this is the problem with the Nikola Jokic fans. They don't understand. This is what they don't understand. So they'll be on everybody's channel who call out LeBron's antics. They be on their channel hooting and hollering and talk about, yeah, I agree. And then when you mention Nikola Jokic doing some of the same things that LeBron does on the court, not the other stuff. they freaking get pissed off. I don't get it. Spade's a spade. Call it how we see it. But anyways, yeah, Nikola Jokic got to step his ass up. Can he? I don't know. The Thunder took away his passing. That's when he really gets deadly. He's got to find a different way to win this out. It's funny. OKC is the youngest team in the league. I thought they was the youngest team in the league. I wish a certain team that plays in a different sport that is the youngest team in the league can do something like OKC. I ain't gonna say no names of what that team is, but they throw a football around and they play in Wisconsin. But anyways, I already think that OKC might win this in 7. I don't think this is gonna be in 6. It could be in 6, but I don't think this is gonna be in 6. I think this is gonna be in 7. Because I don't think Denver's just gonna lay down like that. They are, I can't say defending champs, but they are. Half of these people on this team are champions. So I can't say they're just going to sit there and just lose the next 2. I think this is going to go down to the wire. Because OKC does have some of that nuance with them still. A little bit of them still. Like I said, they are the youngest team. Friday night was an indication that they got to find different ways to close out in the game and not falter the lead like they did on Friday. Yesterday, they did not. They learned from the mistakes. And also, like I said before, Denver let them back into the lead by shooting a whole bunch of untimely threes they didn't need to shoot. And I think some of that may be due to some fatigue a little bit, because when you get tired, you don't want to drive to the basket. You just jack up a shot. But anyways, no excuses. I ain't giving no excuses for Denver. Two-Roll pointed this out that the young ones don't know about, that back in the day, 20-something, 30 years ago in the 90s, that playoff games were back-to-back for some people. So, yeah, they used to have back-to-back playoff games. So, take that as you may. But anyways, OKC up. Well, I can't say OKC is up. OKC has tied this series at 2 games apiece.